Hello everyone. Welcome to Confessions Jury, where people put themselves on the spot, waiting for your judgment. Sit comfortably and listen carefully, as you're about to hear today's cases. You hold the hammer and you apply the law. Let us have your verdict down in the comments section. As always, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Let's head on to our first case. Case 1. Am I the bad person for speaking up against my stepmom on Thanksgiving? I, 35F, thought I set a healthy boundary on Thanksgiving with my stepmom, 59F, but I am starting to feel like an AO and I would like some input, because if I am the AO, I want to hold myself accountable. I need to provide a little background here for people to understand the situation. My stepmom has been around since I was 5-ish, and she has a daughter that is 2 years younger than me. Stepmom had an eating disorder that was so bad, it caused her heart problems and all sorts of health problems. She is no longer bulimic, but still has an unhealthy relationship with food. I remember when we were teenagers, my stepmom was calling herself fat because she could no longer fit into a size 0 anymore. This led to my younger sister crying because my sister wore a size 3, and that must mean she is fat too. My sister and I grew up hating our bodies and feeling extremely insecure. Stepmom would only give me backhanded compliments like I hate you. You are so pretty. Just get out of my house, we can't have someone that pretty here, and I would always just sort of laugh it off and roll my eyes. She has said this exact same thing to me since my teenage years and still does it in my 30s. My sister now has 3 children and she has told her mother that she is not to comment on body image, food portions, or anything negative about herself in front of the children or to the children. Stepmom still makes comments under her breath like, "Wow, that's a lot of food," or "Are you sure you can even eat all that?" or just looks at someone's plate with judgment in her eyes. 2 weekends ago, the youngest child ate all of her chicken and veggies and went to the kitchen where her mom was doing the dishes. She asked her mom for more mac and cheese and her mom served her 2 scoops. When the child came back to the table she said, "Oh my God, insert name," while looking at the child's plate. This pissed me off. Nobody heard her but me and the other children because the guys were watching the football game. Fast forward to Thanksgiving. My sister and her kids were out of town, lucky them. It was my dad, stepmom's sister, my boyfriend, and a family friend. Her sister got up to get a second serving, and when she did, stepmom said, "OMG. Insert name." I could no longer bite my tongue, especially because I had a glass of wine before dinner. So I spoke up and said, when you make comments about how much other people are eating or their portion sizes, it can be very hurtful and comes across very rudely. You did it to last weekend, and you have done it to other family members in the past. Please stop making those comments, because it can be damaging, especially to the children. She didn't say a word and my dad quickly changed the subject. We moved on and enjoyed the rest of the night. I thought a boundary had been established and she would stop with her BS, since she was called out and aware of it now. Boy, was I wrong. Yesterday, I received a call from stepmom while my dad wasn't home with her. I answered the call, not thinking anything of it, and she proceeded to tell me how rude and uncalled for it was for me to call her out in front of everyone. That I owe her the respect of speaking to her privately if I have an issue. That I should not have ruined Thanksgiving with my unnecessary reaction to what she said. She then proceeded to tell me she never makes comments about people's food. I told her that is not true. She had done it the other day to her granddaughter and has done it countless times to other family members. She then claimed when I say, "Oh my God," I just mean like, "Oh my God, they must love the food so much that they are going back for seconds," and I take it as the ultimate compliment. You are wrong. You shouldn't have said anything. This pissed me off. To full-on deny it and then twist it around on me? So I responded, "No, you aren't insinuating that with your comments and tones. You make these comments probably not realizing how it comes across." I politely responded to what you said, pointing out that it's rude and hurtful. You said it in front of everyone, as you always do, so I responded to it in front of everyone. Maybe you don't realize how damaging it is, but your past comments gave sister and me a lot of body image issues, and we're not going to sit here and allow you to pass that on to sister's kids." She was silent. Then she started crying. With MY history, I would never do that. Is this an emotional manipulation tactic? IDK. But I said, listen, I won't apologize for establishing a healthy boundary and calling someone out on their unhealthy behavior. Maybe it was the wrong time, wrong place, but I am so tired of biting my tongue and being a doormat to avoid one of your emotional outbursts. Another point for history: when you try to point something out or correct her on something, she will throw up her hands, cause a fit, say something like, well, I guess I'm just an idiot or something to that effect, and storm off and hide in a bedroom. She doesn't have the ability or maturity to regulate her own emotions. Everyone walks on eggshells around her, and we always have. Everyone got used to not speaking up for themselves to avoid the drama. After I mentioned trying to avoid one of her emotional outbursts, she responded saying, I have been working so hard on not going off and overreacting. I am trying. You should have pulled me aside and said something. I wanted to end the conversation right then and there, so I said maybe it was the wrong time, wrong place. But my intent was to bring attention to this behavior, and I wanted witnesses around us, so my words couldn't be misconstrued and turned against me, but I stand by what I said. I have a busy day and I am trying to get out the door. If you want to talk to sister about this further and get your daughter's input on how this has affected us all in the past, feel free to, and I hung up the phone. It felt good to stand my ground, but now I have feelings of guilt. My sister is sticking up for me. Her mom hasn't called her yet, but my sister thanked me for sticking up for everyone. When her mom calls and asks, do I do this, sister is planning on being honest and calling her out and giving her examples from the past. Even so, I feel guilty. I feel like an AH. I feel like I should keep the peace and bite my tongue and just continue to walk on eggshells. I don't want to cause drama. I want to continue to see my dad regularly without the awkwardness of his wife. Was I rude to call it out right then and there? Do I feel guilty because I am not used to setting healthy boundaries with family? Am I the bad person? What do you guys think? Lay down your ruling in the comments section and let's move on to our next story. Case 2. Am I the bad person for telling my mom she's allowed to get married again, but it doesn't mean I'll approve? My dad died when I, 26M, was 17. Now my mom has gotten serious with someone else. A guy my dad worked. This is a man who hated my dad and my dad hated him. Mom and I knew about it. There was bad blood for almost 20 years between them. And when Dad died, her future husband was the only person at the job who didn't sign the card for us. And my dad would have done the same. So for me, there's a strong dislike about Mom's choice of partner. But they connected 2 years ago and both fell hard. She's excited to marry him and have a future together. She even talked about sharing grandkids, which I made a big face at and told her it wouldn't be happening, which is when we talked. I told her she can get married, and to whoever she wanted to, but the fact she married him is not something I approve of exactly, and I will not allow him to be a grandfather to my future kids, and he won't be someone I try to get close to. Mom told me that's unfair. I told her she can feel that way. But that man hates my dad. My dad hated him. I said there is no part of me that wants him around. But I accept she does. I told her I had to come to terms with her choice in partner and I tolerate it. But I want him in my life as little as possible. She told me he's a good man and yes, it's awkward with his feelings on dad, but we shouldn't hate him for it and he's easy to love. I told her I'm not going to love and accept a man who hates my dad. I asked her how he'll take dad's presence being around all the time, including at my upcoming wedding next year. She told me it won't be easy for him and that a lot of people are already against him because of his and dad's beef. Mom got upset and said she really wants my approval of him and for him to be approved to be a future grandfather and FIL to my fiancé. I told her I won't ever stop her marrying him, but I won't approve. She's angry and upset with me. She said she wants to share all this with him and she deserves it even if I don't think he does. Am I the bad person? You've sat down, you've listened. Now, it's time to state your ruling. What is it gonna be? Let us have it down in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more cases like these. In life, we may run, but we can never hide from true justice. Stay safe, everyone.